you guys, welcome back to our second class or course or whatever you want to call it. Let's call it a course because it's like a food course. Yeah. Of course, we're going to call it a course. Our second meal prep madness course. Today, as you can tell, you guys, we are talking about carbs. Carbs are our favorite, right? Everyone loves carbs. And there is no reason why you need to cut them out completely. Actually, you shouldn't cut them out completely, ever. Before we get into all this yummy stuff, though, Janae is going to talk for just a second about gluten-free. If you remember from last week, she was diagnosed with celiac disease a couple years ago, and she had to drastically change how she eats and go completely gluten-free. Now, before she talks, not everyone needs to eat gluten-free, but some people have to. There are certain people that have gluten intolerances, but don't just assume, okay, I'm going to eat gluten-free and then go out and buy all the gluten-free snack foods and expect to lose weight. That's kind of not exactly how it works. But anyway, turning it over to Janae, tell us about kind of what it means to eat gluten-free.
Okay, so gluten-free is basically not eating like wheat, barley, and rye. I think people don't understand like what gluten actually is because I didn't at all in the beginning. And I even have to go as far as eating gluten-free oats, where some people I feel like that have a tolerance for gluten can have regular oats, but I have to make everything with gluten-free oats if I make anything. I don't think when you're dieting or doing like healthy eating, taking out carbs like easy cool bread and regular like whole wheat toast or whole wheat pasta, those things aren't bad. I just can't have them, and so I have to substitute with like the zucchini noodles, the corn tortillas, rice cakes, and we'll get into each of those things. But like for me, it's not that I don't think it's terrible to eat those other things. I just can't have them, and so that's why we're going to kind of talk about both of those.
Perfect, thank you. So we're going to talk about a lot of healthy carbs are naturally gluten-free anyway. But there are certain things that aren't gluten-free, and those are totally okay too, unless you have celiac disease or a heavy gluten intolerance that you know for sure you have. You figured it out by eliminating things like that. So we're going to start with, what was I starting with? Rice. It's not out here, that's why I was forgetting. Okay, so first of all, rice is so versatile. You could put it with anything. Really, like anything. Throw it on your salad, you can make a rice bowl, you can make a burrito bowl, fajitas. You can make fajitas. You can saute it up with eggs. There's so many things you can do with rice. You can have jasmine rice, you can have brown rice, wild rice. All sorts of rice is good for you and fine. People steer away from white rice, like jasmine rice, but actually there's not really any reason to. When it was tested for blood sugar, it was tested with rice alone and a high amount of it. And yes, of course, if you eat a ton of rice with nothing else, it is going to spike your blood sugar. But most people, especially if they're eating healthy, they're pairing it with a fat or with some meat, some protein or something, and that's going to kind of balance that out. Do you have anything else you want to add about?
No, I think some people also think that white rice is bad, when actually white rice is super easy to digest.
Yes,
and so that's another thing too, like it isn't bad. Like everyone says it's bad and you have to have brown rice, but that's not necessarily true.
Right. So. Yep. When I started eating white rice, or if I have clients that are, maybe having some gas or having having a hard time, dropping some pounds, if I switch them over to white rice or jasmine rice, it kind of you can digest it a lot easier, like you were saying, and it helps things sometimes.
Totally.
So rice, so versatile, and it's so easy. If you have a rice cooker, literally, you can just throw your rice and your water in and then leave, because most of them will keep it on warm for a while. So I'll sometimes turn it on in the morning, and then when I get home from work in the afternoon or something, I'll unplug it just so it doesn't overcook the bottoms of it, and then we have it for dinner.
Also, with my rice, I love adding a big scoop of coconut oil.
Oh, yes.
So instead of like butter or anything, I use coconut oil, and it tastes so good.
Yeah, so yummy. Okay, so moving on, another thing we don't have out here is potatoes. So here's the deal with potatoes. Somewhere, I don't know where, that is my home phone, you guys.
You have a home phone?
Yeah, we do. Come here, Facebook. Look at my home phone. Hello? Look at this cord. I could walk around the whole house with this cord. Okay, that's a tangent.
Back to the 90s.
Yeah, I know. This house was built in 1997, and there's still, Okay, back to the cars. Our home phone never ever rings. That was so random. Okay, potatoes. There is no reason to be afraid of potatoes. And actually, the potatoes, people think that they're really like high calorie. They're actually not. I mean, I guess they would be if you load them up with cheese and sour cream and butter and all sorts of stuff. But potatoes by themselves are super, super high volume. And so I'm going to talk about this a couple times today. I'm a huge volume eater because my body will put on weight super easy. I have to be super careful, track my carbs, track my calories. And so I want to get as much food as possible for the calories and the macros that I can eat, right? So potatoes, especially if you like dice them up and roast them, they go so far.
And they go with everything.
Yeah, they go with everything. Again, eggs, meat.
Like I'll prep them for like with the apple sausage, the Dells.
Yes, we love
as a meal, and I'll take it for breakfast sometimes instead of lunch or dinner, and I'll just add eggs to it. And it's so good. Like, so it's so versatile too.
Yeah, that's a great idea. So a couple ways you can do potatoes. I like to, my favorite ways, and I'll let you talk about your favorite ways. I like to dice them up, or not dice them up, even just like slice them. I slice them kind of thin just because then they go farther for the same amount of potato. Slice them thin, then I roast them. They're really good if you've got enough fat in your macros for olive oil, but I don't even have to use olive oil. I actually just spray them with Pam, and it tastes just like they were roasted in olive oil. They're so good. A little bit of salt and pepper. I like my food more plain. You can totally season the heck out of them if you want to. I just like it nice and plain. Then you can roast them, and you can even prep these in advance. And what you do is you portion it out, and then you can throw your portion for the day under the broiler, and it just crisps them right back up. Another thing I like to do is to roast a whole potato. So I actually love to get like the baby golds. They're like,
those are my favorite.
Yes, so good. They're like that big. And then I roast a whole bunch of them, and then I actually will slice them after they're cooked into like little cooked slices, and just like spray butter and salt them. And I've eaten them cold, warm, everything. You eat the whole thing like an apple. They're so good.
I don't do that.
So how do you like to do potatoes?
I'm basically the same way. I chop them up, roast them. Like I talked about last week, I like the Mrs. Dash seasonings. I can put those on there. Instead of, if like olive oil is not a choice, I use coconut oil for almost everything.
Yeah.
So I put coconut, oil in there. But I dice them, roast them. That's exactly how I do them. I do baked potatoes too. I'll do a baked potato and eat it like with a meal.
Yeah.
With, like the Kerrygold grass-fed butter.
Yeah.
So.
Yum. Sweet potatoes are also great. We just wanted to make sure you guys didn't feel like you had to steer away from white, gold, or red. Sweet potatoes, so this is kind of weird, but everyone who's actually tried it ends up loving it. So if you just microwave or bake a whole sweet potato, just whatever, I like them better baked, but sometimes I don't plan ahead enough. So you just pop it in the microwave for like 4 or 5 minutes, and then you let it cool, so take it with you, like in your cooler, your lunch box, or whatever.
I'm so interested in what you're going to say.
And then you just eat it cold, like an apple. I swear, you guys, it is so, so good. You can put some cinnamon on it if you want to, but I just prefer to just eat it like cold. And everyone who's tried it loves it.
I've never tried that.
Because it has tons of flavor. It's sweet. It's so, so yummy. Yeah. So what do you do with your sweet potatoes?
Sweet potatoes, I do the same as regular potatoes. I dice them up and roast them. I do sometimes I put cinnamon or just salt and pepper, depends on like what I'm making them for. And then I also do baked sweet potatoes. And on one of my recipes, if you check on my Instagram, I do a buffalo chicken sweet potato. So it's like chicken, with a sweet potato, and everybody loves
that. That's a good combo.
Yeah, it's
the
such a good.
Spicy and the sweet.
Yeah. And then also I'll do breakfast sweet potato, where I'll just like mash it up and do almond butter and pecans.
Almond butter or peanut butter is so good on sweet potato. So, so good.
So.
Okay, why don't you,
Do you eat it with the skin on?
I do because I like it. Do you? Not everybody does.
Yeah, no, I don't typically eat it with the skin on, and I usually peel the skin off.
Yeah.
You can, like, there's nothing wrong with it. Just, with regular potatoes, I keep the skin on, but for some reason, with sweet potatoes, I don't.
Some people don't like the skin of sweet potatoes. I love it because it's kind of chewy, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I just love it. How do you roast? I roast at 450 for like 20 to 30 minutes.
Same.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
400 to 450, depending. My oven cooks a little bit.
And mine
hotter.
cooks a little cooler.
Okay, so I usually 400 to 425 is what I'm usually at.
Cool.
So I think you just every oven's different. So
Yeah.
you kind of have to
Just play around with it and just watch them after like 20 minutes.
You kind of I use
every
a fork.
40 minutes.
I pick it with a fork.
Oh, okay.
And see like tenderness where they're at and like if they're a little bit like crunchy at the top.
Yeah.
So
Cool. I like mine kind of burnt. So.
Yeah.
But I need to not have them burned when I'm. Okay. Anyways.
Candle.
Let's talk about oats.
Okay. Yes. So my favorite, and also on my Instagram, I just did a video about. I make overnight oats all the time. I eat this kind is with Greek yogurt, and it has strawberries and then the gluten-free oats in it. And I just pre-make them. Here, I'll open it up and you can see inside. And they're just, it's like ready to eat.
Yeah, so yummy.
And I take this, I eat it for breakfast. I take it on the go. It's one of my favorite. And I eat it cold.
Some people aren't sure about that. With the Greek yogurt, you want to eat it cold.
Yes, and then with this one's just almond milk, and it has a huge scoop of peanut butter in it with some cinnamon. And then I actually add banana to it as well in the morning. Not always, but I like bananas, and I don't think bananas are bad for you. So I add a banana to this peanut butter one. Sometimes I put it in like overnight, so it's kind of in there for if I need it. But these are awesome just on the go, even if I'm like, I do eggs in the morning, and then later in the afternoon, I'm just grabbing this as my meal.
Yeah. You can totally have breakfast foods all day long.
Yeah.
For sure. Breakfast foods make really easy snacks.
Except I wouldn't recommend like it as your nighttime meal.
Right. Yes.
So like dinner, and then if you have like a 8 o'clock meal, I wouldn't recommend oats.
Right before bed.
Yeah, before bed.
So one thing I do with my overnight oats is I kind of do a combination of the two. I've always done it as equal parts oats, almond milk, and yogurt. So I'll do like a third of a cup of oats, third of a cup of almond milk, third of a cup of Greek yogurt. Stir that up. Put like 2 packets of stevia in there, and I like to add frozen fruit. I don't know if you do frozen or fresh.
I do fresh.
I like the frozen because then it kind of like thaws overnight and creates almost like a syrup, and it sweetens it even more.
And then also, if I don't do overnight oats, what I'll do for my oatmeal is I'll just cook in a measuring bowl, and I'll do like a half a cup of oats, and then when it's done, I'll just cook it in the microwave, and I'll add a big scoop of peanut butter and like a little bit of cinnamon, and that's how I eat my oats.
Yeah, that's what I do too.
And occasionally I'll do fruit, but I love peanut butter, so.
Yeah, that's what I do also. I just, this week I did crock pot steel cut oats. And awesome. So I, for years, didn't actually like steel cut oats because I was like, they're lower volume, like the same amount of carbs of old-fashioned oats versus steel cut oats. If you just cook it according to the package, it's quite a bit smaller volume for steel cut oats. But then I discovered the crock pot overnight oats, not overnight oats like this, just cooking them in the crock pot while you sleep is what I mean. And it's the same volume as old-fashioned oats. So that was something I learned a couple years ago that I didn't know before. And since then I've been loving steel cut oats because they're kind of nuttier, a little bit crunchier. So what I do is on the package it'll say like crock pot steel cut oats, but it's basically, I think it's 3 to 1, right? Because normal is 2 to 1.
I can't do steel cut.
Oh, you can do steel, oh, that's right. Okay, so the package will say, but I think it is 3 cups of water to 1 cup of oats.
That sounds right, though.
Yeah, it's more than when you just make it on the stove. It's like quite a bit more, like a whole extra cup or something. And then it's basically you just put them in your crock pot overnight. You go to sleep, you wake up, and they're completely perfect and done. And then I'll portion them out into little containers. And then when I reheat them, I'll add like 2 tablespoons of water. And then that's when I'll add like 2 packets of stevia and a little bit of salt and my peanut butter, and then I'll just stir it all up.
Yeah, and I love eating it cold too. So
yes,
like some people are like, do you have to microwave it? Like I don't. I just take it, put it
Sometimes
in the car.
I like it better cold.
I like it better cold.
Because it's almost like a peanut butter cookie,
yeah.
Sort of. Yeah.
We like treats, obviously.
Yeah, just psyching yourself into thinking. The other thing I love to do with oats is toast them. So I'll get a pan and I will just pour my oats out on there, and again, I'll usually do like a whole week at a time or something, and I'll pour it on there, and I'll just kind of toast them, and I'll just kind of keep shaking the pan, and you want to watch them really closely after just a couple minutes, because once they're kind of toasted, then they'll burn really fast. Yes. So, and you'll smell it too, they smell so good. So you toast it, and then, of course, I like my sweet and salty, so I'll add a little bit of salt, couple packets of stevia, and then it's like cereal. You can top it with almond milk and berries, and it's like eat it like cereal, or you can throw it on your Greek yogurt.
And I make granola with.
Yes,
I make granola, and I'll do it with like a yogurt and fruit as a side, like it's like a little parfait. But my kids love it too, so I'll make a huge like mason jar full of granola with, and I have a recipe for it, but it's like cinnamon, coconut oil, a little bit of brown sugar, pure maple syrup. So I bake it in the oven.
Okay, cool.
I bake it and then it like gets hard, and so you kind of have to crumble it up into the pieces. But we love that recipe.
That sounds way good. Okay, going into, what do you talk about your zucchini noodles?
Okay, so for me, I can have gluten-free pasta. I can't have regular pasta, obviously. I don't think it's bad to have pasta versus zucchini noodles, but for me, they're a lot lower carb than if I was to have a wheat pasta or like a gluten-free pasta. So I love making...
Wait, again, carbs are not bad. So when we say things like lower carb, it's all imbalanced to the other things you're eating throughout the day.
Totally.
Okay, yeah.
So I make a ton of zucchini noodles with like meatballs. I actually use it as like a stir fry instead of other noodles, and I usually use zucchini noodles in place of regular noodles now.
Yeah, show them how this little thingy works.
You guys, this is amazing. Well,
you don't have to do it, just like...
So like I actually have this on my you just put it in here, and then you just basically turn this, and it goes all the way, and it comes through. There's a video on my Instagram I just posted on Sunday, and the link to where I got this amazing zucchini it's from Amazon, but the link's in my Instagram as well.
If you're not sure you want to commit to a big contraption before trying zucchini noodles, both of us just commit. Just do it. Both of us got one of these, and we used this for a while. We were just experimenting with zucchini noodles. I don't even know
that was our very first thing for both of us. I don't even know.
It's like, I think it's as seen on TV from Walmart.
Yeah.
At least mine was. And it's like you can do thick side and thin side, and you basically just sit here, and you just sit here and go like this. And so if you're not sure about the whole zucchini noodle thing, or you don't want to store this in your house, I used this for like a year finally, and then I was like, I am sick of going like this. So just got a big guy. That's hers. Mine's similar, but a little bit different. So you can also do this with sweet potatoes. Have you heard of sweet potato noodles? Yes. I haven't actually.
Yeah.
But I have thought about it.
Yeah, they're good.
So
they're really good as well.
Okay, so those are our favorite. Oh, I've got here quinoa. Quinoa scares people. It's really not scary. It's just like, cooks like rice. I feel like, for me personally, it doesn't have a ton of flavor, so I like to cook it in chicken broth instead of water, and that totally clears up that issue. Do you have any thoughts on quinoa?
Lots of people just think it's gross. I think it's an acquired taste.
Yeah.
I think the more you eat it, the better it gets over time.
Yeah. My kids had it last time. They're like, it's like little bird seeds.
Yeah. But I use a lot of bone broth. I make my own bone broth, and so I'll cook my rice and my quinoa and bone broth.
I bet that makes it super good. Yeah. Okay, so moving on. Are there any questions on these carbs that you need to prep? These are some of our favorites. We're going to move into carbs to just keep on hand that you don't need to prep. Are there any questions, Emily? Okay, perfect. Moving in, let's see. Of course, we've got fruit. Fruit is not bad. Again, the whole blood sugar thing, fruit does have natural sugars in it, but so for me personally, if I just have a piece of fruit and that's it, I'm still hungry like 20 minutes later. But if you're pairing it with peanut butter, or if you pair it with turkey slices or a string cheese or some sort of fat or protein, it's going to not have that blood sugar effect, and it's going to help keep you full longer. So like she was saying about bananas, there is no fruit that's bad. No fruit is bad, okay? It's all from the earth, whole foods. But one thing to keep in mind with fruit is that some fruits are going to be more calorically dense, okay? So for example, berries. You can eat a whole bunch of berries for, let's say, 200 calories, 50 grams of carbs, okay? Compared to a smaller amount of, say, banana, okay? So banana's not bad. You're just not going to get as much as you would berry or apple for the same amount of calories, okay? But sometimes you need that banana in your oatmeal or on your toast or whatever, and so you have it. It's not bad at all. Same thing, watermelon is really high volume. Berries are always my go-to, just because you can get tons of them.
The lowest
for low
would be like a cantaloupe.
Yes, cantaloupe is really low. I forgot about
they're
that.
delicious.
So good. So fruit is always a great carb to keep on hand. Another one, let's just jump right into our favorite. Rice cakes, and everybody is like, oh, that's diet food. It tastes like I'm eating cardboard. Well, you're not doing it right.
So good.
Talk about these, and then we'll move into this.
Well, I get these at Costco. My little girl calls them Rice Krispie treats. She thinks they're so yummy. These are just like an easy on the go, grab and eat them. I'll still like put a spread of peanut butter on it. They're just like my easy to go rice cakes. I actually always more than likely eat these ones. These are just easy to grab.
Perfect.
Have on hand. My kids love them.
They're a little more lightly sweetened. They've got some rice syrup.
There's rice syrup in there.
Yeah, rice syrup in there. So they do taste a little better. Like if you want something your kids will probably like more than the rice cakes. So rice cakes, you can do anything with rice cakes.
And I could eat a whole package in like a sitting.
Yes, for sure. So she was asking before we started if I always eat plain, and no, I don't. Sometimes I'll have caramel. Like I'll have whenever I go out of town, I'll have caramel rice cakes before or after my workout, because it's the low volume. You'll get like 3 or 4 of them. As with your protein for like your post-workout meal or something. Cheddar is low in sugar. They're about 50 calories for the flavored ones and 35 calories. I'm talking about for the Quaker brand. Other brands might be a little different. Plain or buttered popcorn, which I actually really love the buttered popcorn. My favorite, but they were out this week. So plain or buttered popcorn, 35 calories each, are about 7 grams of carbs. The only reason why I usually stick to those ones versus the cheddar is because I can have 3 versus 2 for the same amount of calories and carbs, and I'm a volume eater. So another trick, if you're eating them plain, is using these guys. Now I know I talk about this all the time. Kernel Seasons. They're supposed to be popcorn flavorings, and they have so many. The one I always tell you guys about is the ranch on my cucumbers and my salads and stuff. But for popcorn, or for rice cake, these are my favorite. Sometimes I'll take a little, you don't really have to, but I'll take a couple sprays of spray butter just to kind of make it sticky. And then I'll just sprinkle some of this on. So you've got your white cheddar. So you can put white cheddar on the plain. And these are virtually like 1/4 of a teaspoon is 2 calories. So, and it's like 0 all the way across for fats, carbs, and protein. And you don't use a ton of it. You just lightly sprinkle it and it gives it some flavor. This one is my favorite right now, the cheesy caramel corn. It's like that Chicago style popcorn mix, you know. So that's a great thing to do if you're eating it plain. Why don't you tell us what other things you do with them?
I love to put peanut butter on mine. You guys, I love peanut butter. I didn't realize it. Everything's peanut butter today. But I put peanut butter on it. Recently, I've started doing peanut butter and jelly because I can't have peanut butter and jelly sandwiches anymore. It's not the same, but it's comparable for me. I also love to do peanut butter and banana. And I love peanut butter and apples. I'll do like chicken salad. I'll put chicken salad or tuna on top of them. I really use them for
anything you'd use bread or tortillas for, really. You can throw a Laughing Cow cheese and a fried egg on top.
Turkey. You can do a lot of things with them.
So many things. So yeah, that's rice cakes. They're just super low carb, high volume, easy to take on the go. Just keep in your pantry. Always have them. Yeah, Emily.
What peanut butter do you guys recommend?
So I use any natural peanut butter, but you have to beware because there's so many natural things that are writing the word natural on it that still have added sugar. So basically just flip it around, and if the ingredients are peanuts and salt, then you're good. So I like Adams. Smucker's has a really good one.
Yeah, like I say, natural peanut butter. I can't do, guys, the no stir peanut butter. It's just, I like peanut butter enough that it tastes different to me. Lots of people can do it.
Yeah,
but
I have the no stir.
Yeah,
No.
the stir.
No, I only use the stir.
Yeah, the
I
stir
don't mind
kind, the one with the oil.
Yeah,
I can't do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't. I can't. That doesn't do. Like, I don't
It's
do
not
that.
the same.
No. So, just natural peanut butters.
Cool. Okay. Other things. Breads, like we were saying in the beginning, sprouted grain breads are totally
not bad.
fine. Not bad at all. Or even whole wheat bread, it's totally fine. The only time you might want to cut out things like that is if you are in crunch time trying to lose like the last couple pounds for a short term. Then sure, you might want to cut out things like that. But for the long term, for most people, 90% of the people, it's totally fine.
Well, and when we say not bad either, like some people overdo on it.
Right.
Like obviously in moderation, it's not bad. So if you're having 5 slices of toast a day,
if you're having toast for breakfast, a sandwich for lunch, and then
it's totally different.
Yeah.
But it's not bad to have it. And like even before I was celiac, before I found out.
Yeah.
So like I would do the Ezekiel bread, and I would just use one slice and put like the tuna on top of it and eat it just like with a little bit of mustard. Yeah. And so you don't have to have 2 slices of bread for everything either.
For sure, because that does add up on your calories and carbs. And if you feel like sad with the half sandwich, like that makes me sad, kind of. I would rather have an open face and have the whole slice. Tortillas. Talk about corn tortillas, and I'll talk about whole wheat.
Yeah, I have to use corn tortillas for everything, but we love like eggs and corn tortillas. I use corn tortillas a lot, like with tacos and that kind of stuff with my kids and my family, but I don't do it a ton for like on the go type stuff.
On the go.
Yeah.
I don't do corn tortillas on the go really, although I should because I love them. But whole wheat tortillas, you can find some that are like 80 calories. They're usually kind of higher in protein, like 7 to 10 grams. Which is high for a carb. That's not high protein, but for a carb, that's a lot of residual protein in there. And those are so easy to take on the go. Sometimes you just roll it up and throw it in your baggie, and you can just, feels like you're eating like straight bread for like a half an hour if you eat it slow. Like I'm just eating all this bread. Yeah. Exactly. So tortillas are so easy to take on the go. Also cereals. Cereals are a weakness for so many people. And there's tons of cereal out there that's really low in sugar, like Cheerios, multigrain Cheerios even. Honey Bunches of Oats only has 6 grams of sugar, which is super low. But you have to keep your serving size in check. If you have a big old bowl, of course.
Or like 3, like my husband.
Yeah, that like multiplies and triples.
This is like a box in a sitting.
Yeah. But one thing you can find at almost, I'm sure all health food stores, is like these puffed grains, okay? So this right here is puffed Camlet. Tell me that does not look like Sugar Smacks. It does, right? And if you throw enough stevia on it, it tastes like Sugar Smacks too. Just kidding. I'm not just kidding, actually. So that's super high volume. I didn't weigh out that bowl, but I can have a good sized bowl as a pre-workout meal, and then I'll mix up like some peaches and cream, ideally in protein with almond milk, and pour it over it and throw some berries on it, and it is seriously like you're having like your childhood bowl of cereal and milk. It's so, so good, so balanced, easy. If you want some fat in there, like throw in some slivered almonds. It's basically like a yummy, yummy cereal, kind of like your granola. So that's all we're talking about, right? So that's what we have for you guys on carbs. Are there any questions? Questions from the audience? No? Okay, feel free to ask your questions below, and we will answer them in the comments. As a reminder, this is Janae, and her Instagram is Clean Monday Meals, all one word, okay? Next week on Thursday morning, we are talking about veggies. So many things you can do with veggies. So if you're kind of scared of different veggies or not sure how to prep them or anything, then make sure you tune in, okay? So we will see you guys next time.